All right, so we're going to get into the lead singer right now, Pete McCannon, and learn all about Pyramid Park, which I would say is definitely, well, I'm going to say the best the best new band of the UK, definitely. Pete, how you doing, man?
Yeah, doing really well, thank you. Really, really good. Loving the sun at the moment.
Yeah, man, it's been a nice day, man. I was just saying to you earlier, I just went down the beach today on my summer. It's just, mind you, there's people in the water, man. That's a bit excessive because it was freezing.
It is for May. I think it's a bit too early. You know, you've got to wait till August, really.
I think people get desperate, don't they? Because they just have all that rain and they think, like, to hell with it, I'll just jump in the water.
This is it. This is our summer. 2 days.
Anyway, man, welcome to the show. Obviously, everyone knows my show's mainly gearing towards other genres, but to be honest, I always do play anything that's upbeat and kind of catches my attention. And I am into, well, I'm more normally into like rock and metal and stuff, but you know, if a good rock band comes, obviously, like you're the proof of that, you're going to come on the show. And Pyramid Park is seriously good, I think.
Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, it's a lot of hard work, and we love making music, so you know, it's a privilege to talk.
Yeah, man. I mean, how did you actually get into it?
Well, I used to play songs and write music from about the age of 16. And I grew up in school where I was playing violin. I was always that kid that walked with the violin in school and hated it. But actually, all that kind of training has been really good for me. And so I was writing songs, didn't really believe in what I was doing until someone came alongside me and said, look, I think you've got a gift and you need to do something about it. And so I've kind of, over the years, tried to write as much as I can. I've definitely gone through phases where I've done it and then I haven't. And then I did a solo project about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, and released that as an album, and that was really great, and kind of gained some confidence from it with the Kickstarter campaign, and people actually gave money to actually see this recording happen, and I was like, whoa, people actually want to do this, and so I was really surprised by that. And then eventually, after that went quite well, it was time to kind of make some decisions about, you know, what's next. How do we make this happen? So I was working for a church at the time as a worship pastor. I felt like about a year ago I needed to step out and do this thing full time, and it was during the time of the recording of the album and, you know, making this thing. And it was something different. It felt like a very different project to the last one that I've been working on as a soloist. And so, yeah, that's the journey, really. Wrote some better songs, keep writing songs. You know, you always have to write about, I don't know, 40 songs for an album, I think, and then some of them aren't any good, and some of them just don't fit, and eventually you land on the ones that do.
Yeah, man. I mean, this album, I didn't mention the name of it, actually. It's called Vulnerability. So it is, obviously, for me, the whole album kind of blends together, and it's a great product, but, like, tell us about the name and what's behind it.
Sure. Well, for me, at the very beginning of the recording process, the writing process for this album, I was in a place personally where I was I don't know where I fit anymore, and I felt like really frustrated in a lot of areas, really discouraged about some stuff, didn't know whether, you know, questioned the calling on my life, I think. And I was sitting we've got a little electric piano at home, and I was sitting there and I was desperately trying to write songs, but every song I played wasn't any good. And I sat at the piano. I can't really play piano that well, but I just, you know, plodded through some chords. And eventually I just poured out my heart to God, and out came this chorus about vulnerability. And the words go, my life, lay it down in vulnerability. I pride vulnerability with you. And the whole idea was that in vulnerability, we often think vulnerability is weakness, and we shouldn't be vulnerable. But actually, God knows everything. And so for me, being vulnerable with him is actually courageous because he knows it anyway. And I think, you know, when you're vulnerable with someone, often people actually warm up to you. And so the whole thinking behind it was, God, I just want you to see where I'm really at. I don't care what you think of me. I know you love me anyway. And I just really want to be really real and raw and honest. And so, amazingly, you know, that was one of the early songs on the project. And amazingly, that kind of really shaped the rest of the journey of the recording in terms of content. And for me, it's definitely been the most kind of the rawest and the most vulnerable songs I've written. And there's a song about my dad who died when I was young, and, you know, stuff like that I've never been able to release or put out there. and this seemed just to be like the right time for it, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I actually don't know, but whereabouts in the UK are you?
I'm in Cambridge, so, Cambridge University is what everyone knows. So, yeah, live in Cambridge, east of England, beautiful place, beautiful, lovely part of the world.
Yeah, man, just so hearing your story there, so you put it together like that, you're a worship director kind of thing, and that's how you got started. It's good to always hear a story behind, the person and the people, but obviously it's a band, so who are the other members of Pyramid Park, man?
So normally when we play live, we're a bit fluid sometimes, but there's a guy called Matt who plays drums. He's based in Coventry at the moment. We've known him for years, and then a guy called Henry on bass, and then there's another guy called Matt who plays guitars as well. But I'm the only one doing this as a kind of job, as it were. They're all kind of doing other stuff as well. So I kind of run a lot of Pyramid Park, and then they're involved more with the live scene, and I'm kind of the guy who's kind of making it work, as it were.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So they just kind of join you when you have a proper live set on kind of thing?
Exactly, yeah. Which is really cool, because it kind of makes it like, we've known each other for quite a while, and that's really great. But it just makes it, sometimes you can't all make a decision, so having someone who makes decisions actually makes it work quite well for us. So yeah, I'm the one who takes the biggest risk on stuff, but if anything goes well, I'm the one who gets the biggest reward as well. So it's kind of a little bit different from the normal kind of band setup, but it works.
Yeah, man, it definitely does work, man. And obviously, I guess if you guys carry on getting stronger and stronger, then I guess one day maybe they could leave their jobs, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Tell us about the name, man, because this may just be me, I don't know. But when I first saw Pyramid Park, the thing with pyramids is pyramids always get linked to kind of some kind of a conspiracy theory or Antichrist or something like that. So
I know.
I was kind of thinking have you done it because then you've kind of made it like a good thing? You know what I mean? Christians obviously make it they often make something that's bad and turn it into good. So is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that it? Or?
Well, there's two stories. So the first story is I needed to find a name and spent a whole weekend going through Spotify at different names that I really liked. I thought, yeah, these would be really good band names. And eventually, I couldn't land on anything. So I was like, okay, what's the next best thing I can do? If we're going to actually have to market this, we need to think of something that's really going to be strong branding. So I started thinking about that and ended up landing on the pyramid shape. So I just thought it's a really strong shape and there's something we could do with it. And so that's how it started, which is really weird. Some people say, oh, is it a Linkin Park kind of thing? I'm like, no, I didn't even think about that when we were kind of coming up with a name. But the kind of idea behind it for me is that, when I was speaking to someone years ago about relationships, they were saying how you can, if you want to draw nearer to your wife or whatever, you need to draw nearer to God. And if you both draw near to God, you both draw closer together. And he kind of did that whole pyramid shape. And I was thinking about our relationship with God as Christians and how, when we're working together, when we're focused on Him, we actually draw nearer to one another. It's only when we don't focus on Him that we start to get, disunity and stuff goes wrong. And the whole park idea was He's given us a wide open space of life to explore, but there aren't boundaries to it, and how it's all shaped for that relationship with Him and to keep getting our eyes back onto Him. So that's a double meaning, really. And that's what I communicate when people ask me. It depends who asks. But the simple answer is I couldn't find a decent name for ages and needed to come up with something unique. And I think we've done it. We want to make sure that we're exploring all that God's got for us, and we don't want to hold back and miss out on things. And I think having that childlike faith and that childlike kind of heart to explore the park of life, as it were, that God's got for us.
Yeah, I guess it could be Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit as well, kind of thing. The same kind of triune kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we could go on, couldn't we?
Yeah.
It's definitely not Egyptian. It's definitely not.
No conspiracy theories here.
No conspiracy theories. This is the real deal.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I think it's good, man. I like it. It's it's different, and yeah, man. Obviously, we don't want that, but it's fresh, man. It's fresh. And then who did the actual design for you, for the actual main cover of,
The design was a mate of mine who lives in Perth in Australia, and we've been friends for a while. any kind of recording thing I've done, he's always helped me with the design for quite a few years now. And so he's been awesome. And I sent him an idea, and kind of, because I love art and stuff like that, so I drew out a few things and sent it to him. And he said, yeah, you could have something like that, or you could have this. And he did pretty much a rough drawing and design of the actual album front cover. I'm like, I want that. That's much better than my idea. And so, yeah, he's done a great job. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, man, it does look fresh, man.